This studio is risking everything. We're already seeing pushback.
This show reimagines how Hollywood might have evolved differently if a woman were in charge and people would have taken bold steps to dismantle the biases against race, gender, and sexuality. So, Patti, what message do you think this series sends to those in power in Hollywood today?
That we are powerful, are we not, Tiffany? Women deserve, and it's time for their time in the power seat, in this business, and in our government. We shouldn't be fighting for this. It should just be happening organically. Do you know what I mean? I believe goddesses need to rule the world again, and I believe we are the superior gender. Enough said.
I agree.
We will not be bullied. This is just the beginning.
We aren't just making a movie. We're making history.
I think it sends the same message to those in power in Hollywood as it does to any of us out in the world in general, even if you're not in show business, which is that when you make a move for something that you know is right, when you make a move in your life to help yourself and those around you for a very humane reason, it has a greater effect on all of humanity than you could ever imagine.
Well, I think it'll definitely strike a pretty significant chord. You know, this show's a great reminder of how far we have come, but also how far there is to go and how a lot of those prejudices still exist. And they manifest into different ways. But again, yeah, I should hope it isn't like a scary finger wag. It's more of a checking in with a history that, you know, wasn't always so glamorous.
If we change the way that movies are made, I think you can change the world. I want you to be the star.
Really?
Now, one of the most powerful and emotional episodes is the Oscar episode. Jeremy, why do you think it was so important to show how Meg's triumphs impacted those listening on the radio in minority communities to the Oscars?
If we're setting this in the 40s, had people seen or heard that they were given an opportunity, an equal opportunity, like you only need to hear it or see it once to feel inspired, to know that there's space and room for you. So I think those are actually the most moving and powerful cuts, is when you see the families listening and hearing and feeling seen and feeling like it's a win for the community, for women, for a Black gay man, for a young Black girl. And I think that is the most moving part of our story. It's so hopeful, it's so inspiring, you know.
I think, at the heart of the story is about how important representation is and what could the world have looked like had we had that sort of representation at the beginning of Hollywood, and the changes that we're starting to see now, what if they were happening from the very beginning?
It ain't about whether you win or lose. What's important is being in the room.
I mean, I always want to work with Ryan. I mean, he's the guy, he's the man. I like to go out and create these characters, and he gives me the ability to create so many crazy people.
Sometimes you have to service.
No, I came here to be a movie star.
Why people love this show? It is rich. It is glamorous. It is raunchy. It's got all the ingredients of a fabulous quarantine show.
I mean, I think, as most of us are, we're quarantined. We're in the house. We're looking for something hopeful and inspiring.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been trying to binge watch shows, and a lot of them are just a little bit dark, which I love.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of this dark hole. So I think with anything, our show is going to give you 7 episodes of an escape to a fantasy world with real characters: Henry Wilson, Barack Hudson, Anna Mae Wong, so many different, characters that we know, but also these fictional characters. And like Jake said, you root for them, you have empathy for them. And, by the end of it, you should leave feeling inspired and maybe, a little bit hopeful too when we get out of this quarantine.